Welcome everybody to the channel. This is Phil Beckwith, the professional painter and decorator, here with you, and I'll say live because obviously while I'm filming it is live. You're not watching it live, but it was live at some stage. Over in the Algarve, in this series of, I'm calling it the place in the sun. I don't know, we have got some, but we've had some rain. Anyway, sad times everybody, sad times. I'm just about ready to get packed up and go and get that flight back to the East Midlands Airport. Yeah, I've been out here a good couple of weeks on this project. Nice project. Painting doors and frames. My knees are killing me. Marble floors aren't conducive to somebody coming up to 50. Well, I'm not 50 yet, and I'm not even 49 yet, but come next year I will be 50. But anyway, we've conquered and overcome, and we've actually come to the end of this project now. Look how nicely positioned between those two plants. Do you think that was planned? But anyway, I thought I'd just do a quick whiz of what I've been doing and how it all looks. You know, from previous videos you've seen this series of working abroad, and this is a bit of the conclusion, I'll say conclusion, of how I've gone on. It's not been good. It's not been good. This glamorous lifestyle of being a YouTube influencer, working away, late nights, nobody to talk to. Thankfully, people who have been working here do speak English, but it's been lonely. Miss my family, miss my kids. Miss my family. Yeah, of course I've missed the kids, missed the wife. But anyway, let's start. I'm going to get to the front door because that's one of the jobs that I did and changed from the original varnish. So bear with me and I'll fast forward myself to the front door like a time machine. Here we go. Did you like that blend out? I moved from bottom of the gate straight to the front door. Right, front door was, it was the ordinary varnish. It was just polyurethane oil-based varnish on the outside. It looked a state. There'd been a bit of damp, well, I'll say damp, you know what I mean, where it just goes a little bit black where it's been damaged. So I had a word with the customers and said, look, I'm going to do the inside of the door, let's do the outside. So we've done the same theme. We've got the lighter colour on the frames and we've got the darker colour actually on the door. Now, thankfully, the customer had got a toolkit that could get these security prison bars, whatever you want to call them, off, so I could get all the way around it. Now I gave them a good sand down. I used that Sin aqua primer, and you've seen in the previous videos I knocked it off slightly to a dusty bin. 3, 2, 1. Those old enough will remember that. Was it Bob Carroll, geez? No, he had the dog, didn't he? Anyway, we gave it a good sand down, and it's had the primer coat. Now I've been a bit limited with fillers. I did bring out with me some cork, ice mat, water-based decorator's cork. So anything that was just a bit of an indentation, I put little bits of filler in and built it up. Yes, it does sink after first application, but I could just bring up little indentations to make it a lot better. So that was quite good. The door, if I stand back, yeah, I'll put you on the. Does that look good? I think it looks fantastic. It's come up really well. I couldn't take the door handles off, however they're fitted, but I did bring out some Q1 tape and I managed to tape around the edges, so that was fine. But all in all, front door, really good. Come up really nice. Don't forget, yeah, used a roller. I used the 10mm and a 5mm 2 blokes roller. 5mm just to finish it off. 10mm was getting the undercoat on and the first top coat, but I've actually gave this 3 top coats because it's on the outside. The inside had 2, But let's move on to the inside and just have a quick whiz round all that work I've done in there. So where we are inside, front door, that's had primer, 2 top coats. I've come round to here, I've done the banister, and that's what I've been finishing off on my last day really. I've gave the banister 4 top coats. So it's had the primer undercoat after a good sand down, primer undercoat and plenty of top coats to give it a good, well, hopefully a good protection for people going up and down. Now I used a combination of the 10mm and the 5mm 2 Fussy Blokes rollers on that. I finished off with the 10mm. That was mainly to get enough paint on, because the more paint you can apply with that 10mm, it flows out nicely. So we've got a good finish on there. I'm quite happy. Satin finish does look nice. So if we can get around, you'll probably see I've got a lovely staircase all the way around there, and I brought it all the way down. You get the idea, don't you? Right, let's move on to another room. Right, I'm in the main living room now, and I've got some double doors to do. Most doors are all exactly the same, aren't they? These were the panel doors. They're a bit of a floating panel. Now, they had a bit of a gap round the edges. Now, those gaps around the edges, after a number of coats, after the primer and the first top coat, I did start putting a bit of caulk in, because some didn't have a gap, some did have a gap, and where it didn't have a gap, it looked better. So I did go around and just neatly caulk up and get them looking spanking. Let's call it spanking. But that's the double doors. Now, all the doors are on that darker, we're calling it, well, I'm calling it cookie dough. And then the frames were in the lighter colour, which actually does look really nice, and it complements the floor. Now, it's all looked really good. I don't know how they do the woodwork over in Portugal, but it was like a veneer over, I'm not going to say hardboard, it was a bit more than hardboard, chipboard wood with veneers. So that was given a good sand down with the Goldflex Merca pads, got those down nicely. And again, I took my time, cut it in neatly. I didn't need tape for down these edges. I could cut in neatly down these edges and then cut, I don't know whether you can see, I just cut with the brush. I'm using the arrow-worthy brushes. Cut up close to the frames, on the frames, cut up close to the hinges, and then where I'd got enough room, I could just bring a roller carefully all the way down. And again, mainly I used a 10mm 2 Fussy Blokes. I did try, and I told you in that previous video, I did try doing all the casements and frames with a 5mm after that first initial coat of primer undercoat. But I'd probably say it felt like it taking me an age. So when we came back to the finished coats, I did drop onto a 10mm. Just quickly in here, because I've been very limited on my cooking facilities. That's where the kitchen will go. So the kitchen's not in yet. It's been a bit, I call it a new build, but it's not a new build. It's a already built house, but there's been a bit of work being done. So this is the bifold doors, double doors into the living room area, and I'll show you some other rooms, so bear with me. Right, utility areas. We've got downstairs toilet here, separation door between kitchen, kitchens, if we go around like that, kitchen's that side, and I've got the doors there. Again, been very careful cutting in. When you say, would you do anything different? I took all the door handles off and all the fittings for the lock mechanisms, which was great, but I did learn while I've been here that it was easier to tape up the hinges, literally tape the hinge up and cut round it. On that first initial coat for the primer coat, I'd got a really fine fitch, and I'll show you the tools I got in a minute. I got a fine fitch that I thought I could cut in, and then any paint that went on the hinge I wiped off, which I could do. But do you know what? What a ball ache that was. So I spent an hour or so one morning just going around with some of the more delicate, you know, the orangey Q1 tape, and taped up hinges that I was coming to, and then just carefully cut around. Oh, yeah. Time spent actually preparing made it a lot easier for me painting, so all was good on that. So yeah, we've got a bit of a wardrobes here as well for storage for the electric fuses. All the wardrobes that I've done in the building, house, villa, whatever you want to call it, have all been in the dark colour, and even the casement edges, frames of those I've kept dark because I didn't want to highlight those and make them stand out any more than they needed to. So we have got the lighter colour on the main door frames, and then the main doors were dark as well. So it's like that all the way through the house. So coming to the kitchen area, I've just had my little bit of a workstation where I've been working, so I'll just show you what I've got here. CIM paint, brilliant. Watch that video, you'll see me comments on it. Very pleased with the two Fussy Blokes rollers that I've been using. My only criticism is I could have done with a few. Oh, sun's come out. Oh, look at this. Oh, wow. Come on, focus, focus. Any criticism, I could have done with some more rollers, mainly just so I could swap them more regular. I did use a new roller every day, 10mm and 5mm. I've actually saved, because I've done final bits of touching up today. This is what the rollers look like when they've got paint on them, and I'm going to chuck them away. The green end are the 10mm and the red end are the 5mm. Now, when I've been doing the handrail, it does, I'll say, shape the roller. That was a newish one, but it does like wear it more in the middle. Some of the other rollers that were doing the main wardrobe doors, because the way I was putting the pressure on, I found it was wearing more on one side, and that was just mainly because of the shape of the wardrobe doors. So there's the rollers. Arrow-worthy brushes that I brought out with me. I could have actually, what would I do differently? I'd bring some more of the 1.5" flats. I'll just wash this out. And the 1.5" slash cut, and also more of the 2" slash cut, because when you've done 20 doors, 20 door frames, both sides, 3 coats, 120 odd doors, it wears over a 2-week period. I would say that brush has had some hammer. Yeah, it's been worn out. Also really impressed with using the Worcester Pelican roller stroke paint little tub bucket, and those, well, I'm going to say throw away, I'm going to actually keep them because they're quite handy. Just the liners. Had 3 of those so I could work and, you know what I mean, rotate them between the different paints and the different days. So that's good. So I'll show you some other rooms, all the same, if you're interested. I'll just come in here. Wardrobes, 3 sets of 2, both sides. It took a bit of time. You can imagine I've had some actually quite long nights making sure that I've not broke me back doing it, going for hell for leather, but obviously I've had to stop for a bit of lunch and things like that. But I have made sure that all the insides were done, then I'd come to the outside and work my way around and plan my days. If it was a day of wardrobes, I'd do a day of wardrobes, then I'd drop onto main doors, or I'd drop onto the frames. Now, because I was borrowing the plasterers, the Romanian plasterers, you probably heard me mention those in a previous video. The Romanian plasterers, great lads, basic English, but we conversed all right. I was borrowing their aluminium steps, and I hate aluminium steps. And there was one day that they needed them, and I needed them, because I was doing wardrobes, and then I thought, I tell you what, I won't do wardrobes today. I will do door frames because I can reach those. So I had to move my days around, but not to worry. So wardrobes have come up lovely, and if I can just get the light, I don't know, you'll see the bit of a sheen over those doors. That is a lovely finish. That sin paint satin finish is, you know, I'm really pleased with it. I've really been happy with it. Coming on to bathroom en suites, 4 bedrooms got 4 bathroom en suites, so I've done frames there as well. It's all the same, but it's nice to see what I've actually been on, and I've not been sunning by the pool or playing golf while I've been in Algarve. Far from it. I did go to Philomora though, didn't I? Right, another one. 3 sets of 2, both sides. And again, these are very difficult to cut in on those, you know, these, let's call them kitchen cabinet hinges. I've managed to cut in very neatly with those arrow-worthy brushes and kept them clean. I did take the handle door knobs off, and jobs are good on that one. That shape, I don't know whether you'll see. Oh, bring it in. That shape of the contour there, this is what I say about floating panels. These are a moulding, and they've got a bit of a gap down those edges. And if you look on the inside, I'll show you, that's where the trim is. And that is a proper word for using trim. To trim it, because that panel is separate to the edges, like tops and, you know what I mean. But using that roller, going into that shape, do we call it a bit of a concave shape, was wearing because of the pressure that I was putting onto the roller to get the paint on. But you saw on previous videos how I did it. I went around the mouldings, cut in with the brush, and then just filled in. And 10mm nap on that was lovely. Are you going to see that sheen? I don't know whether you'll see the sheen. I'll try and get some photos. You've probably seen photos on other ones. So that's that. Let's move downstairs into the basement. Right, this is where I've been hauled up really on the evenings when I could actually take a bit of a break. We've got a garage door there into a lovely garage, and if I say I'd like a big garage like that, you'd easily get 3 cars in. It was lovely. It's a really nice house. It's got a really nice garage, and for me who likes my cars, likes saving clutter, you know, in your garage, gardening stuff, having a big garage is a godsend. Again, door done on both sides. We've got a gymnasium in there. That was a bit of a damage. I'll tell you what, I'll take you in there. Right, we're in the gymnasium, and there's a bit of damage on the door down here. I don't know whether somebody had tried to, can you just see that? I don't know whether somebody tried to kick the door or anything like that. Now, I managed to buy from the Sin paint shop. I'm not going to say schoolboy error, but I wanted a quick drying filler. Now, you know, Brummel, you know, the cellulose wood filler that you can get that sets up on your putty knife as quick as you get it out. I bought that. Now, I bought that, and it is a bit of a schoolboy error because that is a cellulose-based filler, which if you put it near your paint, particularly water-based, it softens up your paint. But when that was in the form of a bad crack, I could get it in quick enough, and within 5 minutes it had dried, and I could sand it down. So I'm not saying a schoolboy error, because I knew that I was going to have problems with it being a cellulose-based filler compared to a water-based, but I needed it drying quickly. And for how many pinholes and bits of cracks that I needed to fill, I wasn't going to worry, because once it had set and I'd sanded it and I touched it back in with primer and then put some 2 coats of finish on, it's not going to move anyway. But that bit of a damage there, I've actually done the best I can with it. And there you go, I'm going to, look at that, there's the mirror. Do me aerobics and stuff like that. So, nice room that will be a gymnasium when it's all kitted out. Again, I mentioned upstairs, 4 bedrooms with 4 bathroom en suites. Downstairs in this game stroke, snug area. We've got another toilet as well. I've got my seating area where I've been sitting, and I've got a big telly that I've been watching at night. And then there's 2 little storerooms here, and again, no expense spared. I've taken my time rubbing them all down. You'd expect me to rub down properly. I've rubbed down and I made sure if there was any bits of caulking up around these edges, I've done it. And that's what I've been over the last few days, just making sure if anything had moved, I've recorked and touched in. Because the beauty of this paint is, particularly on these mouldings, I could actually touch them in if there was anything that I was seeing that I wasn't happy with. I didn't have to do the complete door. I mentioned about these door frames. They're not brilliant doors, and there was some I'll say splinters, you know, like the veneer starts peeling away, and I couldn't do much with it, so I've actually sanded them down, got some of that isomat cork, wet my finger and smoothed it off, and tried to blend any damaged edges on these frames the best I can, because I've not got the van with me, I've not got all my tools, but I had to make the best of what I'd actually got to use. But again, both sides all been done, so quite happy with that. Let's nip upstairs. Let's fade out to upstairs. We've faded out, we're into the master bedroom now. Again, doors. There's some interesting joinery. There's a bit of a gap down there. I couldn't do anything with it, too big a gap. But again, we've sanded it down and we've brought them up to a lovely finish, and it looks really smart. I'm going to walk into the dressing room area now, which we've got 2.5. So we've still got 6 actual doors, dressing room doors, wardrobes, and we've done both sides. I've been full on, haven't I? Been full on. And then the door there's been done, and then we come onto a bathroom en suite, and again, doors both sides. So, looking good, aren't we? I'll show you the last room. This is the last bedroom, this is the guest bedroom, and this is the one I've been staying in. Again, doors, wardrobes, en suite, and we've done both sides. And it's come up really well. I have to say the finish of that Sin AC Thane paint, you're not going to see it, shame. The finish on that, with it being a bit of a, well, it's got polyurethane in it, scratch resistant sort of paint, it's hard wearing, and it applied like butter. Putting it on, it was really, really nice. So I can't fault the paint that you can get out in Portugal. And the colours, I think the colours have really, really complemented everything that's in the house. Floors, it just flows nicely. And then I'll just show you this lovely staircase. I don't know whether we'll see it. Going all the way down. So I'm impressed. Let's go back downstairs and just sum up. So here we are outside, and we'll just do a bit of a conclusion sum up. I've enjoyed working abroad. Yeah, it's been different. What's been the awkwardness of it? Being on your own, not having somebody to talk to. Obviously, I'd paid me extra £10 on my EE phone account so I could phone home and not cost me any more. But no, we joke, don't we? Yeah, it's been interesting. Thankfully, I know this customer quite well, a bit of a friend, so that's why I've come out to sort this job out for him and get the doors how they should be, or the best I can possibly get. Now, going forward, I've left some paint for them. I've marked up on the top of the lids which paint goes where. Now, don't forget, you've seen that video there. I had a bit of problems, didn't I, with the paint and the isomat. Just so you know, the isomat, Tim in the UK rep, has worked tirelessly to get me this paint out here. It's not his fault. The couriers taking the paint from Greece to Portugal, they cocked up. But to the point that I've not, in this 2-week period, I've not seen the primer. It's never turned up. My tracking on my app was telling me that that's been destroyed and been thrown away at the request of the sender, which is fair enough, which is isomat in Greece. The isomat top coat satin did turn up late. I'd already started the job, I was already here, and it had spilt and there was damage to the box. So by the time it actually got rubbed down and got the paint from CIN, I wasn't going to be using the isomat because there was no primer. There was no primer turning up. Thankfully, CIN, the aqua primer, is, and I've said in that video, I'll just reiterate, it is a grip primer, an adhesion primer. It has got a blocking capability as well. So it actually worked in my favour that I'd got a paint to use that was on the par and I do think it was very good paint on the par with the Isomat. But all in all, it's gone well. I'd be glad to get home. I'd be glad to get home to get a proper curry. I've not fancied having a curry over in Portugal. I've quite eaten quite well. Found some nice restaurants to eat in. You saw me in the previous videos over in Villamora, because that's not far away. Quick 10-15 minutes away from where this villa is, so it was quite easy to pop into Villamora. And I've eaten all right. There were some nights where I've eaten cereal. Some videos come up there yet. Yeah, you can watch those. I did have some nights where I was eating pain au chocolat and crunchy nut cornflakes with my almond milk, because you know almond milk don't go off, does it? But I didn't know whether it was almond milk that was, the videos there, the almond milk was sweetened or unsweetened, and the one that I picked up accidentally that was unsweetened, God, it tasted horrible. So thanks for listening. If you like the content, give us a thumbs up. If you're subscribing, brilliant. And just to finish off, those that are giving me super thanks, you know I like that. Thank you very much. Those videos are there. See you on the next one.